I'm standing here with poison hemlock, not to be confused with water hemlock or the hemlock tree. So this poison hemlock is Conium maculatum. It's in the carrot family, the Apiaceae, and you could confuse it with chervil, anise. People have confused it with wild carrot, Sicily. There's a lot of different plants that it looks like.
I moved to a quieter place where I could film. Poison hemlock likes to grow near roads and ditches and in really, I'll see it in the Rockies, in really rocky, poor soil. And then it will also grow in just like fertile floodplains. I mean, really it'll grow in a wide variety of habitats. So it'll grow in wetter soil, drier soil. So habitat's not always the best way to identify it. A great place to look about where poison hemlock grows is to look at the USDA plant database. So if you Google USDA plant database, Conium maculatum, or you could probably use poison hemlock, you can pull up pictures of the plant in various stages of growth and different parts of the plant, and then also maps by county where the plant grows, so you can see if it grows in your county. It's a super wonderful resource to know about. It grows in Canada, South America, Australia, New Zealand. It's native to Europe, but also grows in parts of Asia. So really all over the world. And the most deadly parts of the plant are the seeds and the root. The root's a long taproot. People have confused it with wild carrot, but the leaves and the stem are also deadly poisonous. So all parts of the plant are deadly poisonous. You don't want to touch it. They contain toxic alkaloids that affect the nervous system, resulting in paralysis. And the paralysis spreads from the feet up to the lungs, resulting in respiratory failure, which is what ultimately kills people. Now, there's no known antidote, but if someone reaches help in time in the ER, they can be put on a respirator, and if they haven't ingested too much of the plant, people have survived. So the symptoms start setting in within half hour to an hour, or a couple hours, depending, I'm sure, on the person and what they've eaten and what part they've eaten. But the first symptoms are nausea and vomiting, and then people get really sleepy and lay down and go into almost a coma, or maybe it's really a coma, I'm not sure, but they basically go to sleep and then die of respiratory failure. So the plant has a lot of great identifying characteristics. So it has really lacy leaves that are twice to 4 times divided, and then it has purple splotches on a smooth stem with a waxy covering that'll rub off. Now, you don't want to touch the plant because you can't absorb the toxins through your skin. But that really sets it apart from wild carrot, which has a hairy stem. So it has a hollow stem. I'm just going to repeat this so that you remember it. So it has a hollow stem with purple splotches, and you can see it here in the jar. So it has purple splotches, and then it has the base of the leaf. This is a very divided leaf, and the base of the leaf clasps the stem, sort of like if you can imagine how celery is at the base of the stalk. So It's identifying foliage characteristic. It has like an unpleasant odor that a lot of people liken to mouse urine. I'm not super familiar with the smell of mouse urine, but it's a smell that most people don't like. And then later in the season, the plant will grow to be 9 feet tall, 6 feet tall, 6 to 9 feet tall, depending on the soil that it's growing. It does grow in full sun, usually maybe a little bit of parts that shade, but it really does favor sun compared to water hemlock, which will often grow in partial shade, and also really wet habitats and has a different kind of leaf. So later in the season when it flowers, it has flowers that look very much like Queen Anne's lace or wild carrot. So it's in the carrot family or the Apiaceae. So it has this double umbel and it has just a lot of flowers. The purple splotching is just really evident later in the season. So this is a good plant to know and to avoid. Finely leaves. People have confused it with chervil, anise, sweet Cicely. There are some other carrot family members with really finely divided leaves that it resembles. Now remember, with any plant that you're identifying, it's a combination of characteristics, right? It's not just one characteristic that you can rely on. For instance, a lot of carrot family members have those, or they all have those double umbels, or those flat topped clusters of flowers that are white or yellow, but in this case white. And a lot of them have hollow stems or clasping petioles. Other plants have purple splotches. Other plants might share the aroma or the leaf. So when we're identifying any plant, it's always a combination of characteristics that we're looking for. And I hope that you've got to know this plant better and know how to fully avoid it now.